was saying. And the bottom line is, whether you're into perfume, whether you're into food business, there's the aspect of tech to everything. Because at the end of the day, like our mommy here, they can only be here in one instance. But with the introduction of tech into anything, you can be in multiple places at the same time. So which means if you're supposed to be making 20,000 naira, if you can properly implement the tech part of it, you can make as many money as possible. All you just need to be doing is monitoring and making sure that things are working fine. And that boils down to the process that our pastors have mentioned. So some of the things I'm going to be sharing will be, yes, the tech part, and also how we can be technologically intelligent when it comes to business, and some of the things that we can introduce to our business. So thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So it's time for us to break out now. Like I said, for the AI, we'll be here, maybe the front part of this auditorium. And at the back there, we have those who want to learn about perfume making. Thank you. So, if you're here for AI, can you raise up your hand, please? Okay, let's move to this side first. Or you come forward, whichever way you think. So at the back, if you are for perfume, go to the back there. And for those of us who want to learn how to make sweets, out there. Sorry, I'm sorry I'm pushing you. I think this center row will be better. I'm sorry. Please pardon me. Just pardon me. Center row is better. Yeah.
No, they are not inside. They are going upstairs. So we have 2 locations. Yes. See him here, me. Yes. No, they are not supposed to be any program. So we're using the tent, and we're also using the teens church. So they know, whoever is there, they know. Let's just inform them that we're ready to use the space, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, the teens church and the tent. So I think the perfume people use the teens church the other time. All right, sir. Okay. Good morning, Mars and Sars. So we'll try to make this conversational. And okay, ma. Bro Biola, are we set? Okay. So, I'm going to be showing some slides, and just to help us put a picture to what we are going to be discussing. I hope the pointer can. Okay, yes, you get there. Cool. Good morning once again. My name is Noah Olatui, and I am the CEO of Instinct Hub. And pretty much what we do at Instinct Hub is we help people learn new skills, and we help people to achieve success regardless of what they're trying to do. So today, we will try as much as we can to be as practical as possible. Because at the end of the day, we know that the trending thing is AI. AI, AI, AI. We've heard it again and again and again. So we're going to try as much as we can to really understand what the AI is, so that we can have an understanding about that term, artificial intelligence. And not just that. So we look at what the AI is. We look at the foundation of the artificial intelligence, like how do we get here? We also look at how businesses can leverage on this technology. We look at the tools and techniques available for us to use. And at the end of this, in fact, just to give us an hint, when we hear about all these things, in fact, when we hear the term technology, is all about automation. And one thing I always tell people is that if you cannot solve the problem in real life, there's no way technology can solve the problem for you. In fact, when you hear the term technology, it's not magic. If you want to start an e-commerce business and you haven't sold one shoe before, likely not to be successful, regardless of the two. If you want to become an effective and a renowned lawyer and you don't go to law school, you can never be a lawyer. Irrespective of any AI that you use, you have to still go through those processes. So when we think technology, I just want us to break it down. Don't think it's magic. It's just a way of saying, I do XYZ every day. Can machine do it for me? So which means you must already have a process in place and you're expecting a machine to do it. In other words, if you don't have anything practically to do, there's no way you can make any sense of the technology. And this analogy I was speaking to someone. The person went to buy a MacBook laptop. And this was like around the person went to buy a MacBook laptop and it was almost $1 million. Then they asked, what do you want to do with the MacBook laptop? She said she wants it. And I'm like, I couldn't really relate. So, at the end of it, I can't even remember where I heard this. I was watching a pastor. The same football that they buy for less than $50, if you put that same football in the leg of maybe Victor Osimhen, is millions of dollars. The same football that you go and buy less than 100,000 naira. So it's all about the substance. It's all about we ourselves, not even things that we find around. So if you can imagine somebody go to buy a laptop for almost $1 million, and what you're thinking to do with that laptop is watch movie, time, just doing random things. And oftentimes that's pretty much what we do. We have all of these tools, but we are limited to what we can do with them. Because, one, it could be because the exposure is not there. Two, it could be because we don't just want to stress our brain because we are comfortable with what we are. So it's easy to just find a way and blend and be doing things. It all depends on how we're able to build ourselves. That is really what is going to determine the kind of results we get. And I'm saying this because we hear tech, and we feel tech is the oil money. And at the end of the day, it's not really true. It's not really true. And that's why some people who have tried to blend into tech give up because they are expecting that they should cash out. But at the end of the day, no cash out. So we need to just really understand. You need to build it. In fact, I have this mindset about tech. There's no automation in tech, in real sense. There's no automation. So somehow, we always like we can automate things, but in real sense, there's no automation. Let me just prove myself right. You want to sell anything today, you must figure out how to find the customer. At worst, okay, let's say the simplest way, you go online, you put the social media post, you boost it with your money, you start monitoring it. Sometimes when you see that your money is burning, no results, you go and retweak it to make sure it makes sense. So, is that automation? You need to know how some of these things work. And that's my job today, to trigger you to start asking the right question. The way I look at things, in fact, if you want to interact with any technology today, and you don't know how it works, the people who are going to be working with you will just be turning you around. And that's why some of us here might have some ideas, and you can't bring it to life because everybody you are told are just dribbling you because they feel like you don't know it. So if you know what you are saying, what you're doing, at least, not everybody must know how to code. That's not the point here. But we are talking about product creation process. What does it take to create a product? What does it take them to know that this iPad is ready to go to the market? It's the same thing. You have something like this. You even pay some people to come and test it. You pay some people, please come and test this thing, give me feedback. And I really want us to understand this. So let's quickly we just try to understand what AI is, then we enter the business segment fully. All right. Let me just keep this. So pretty much, there's no doubt that AI has found a way of taking so many people's job. The truth is, we haven't really seen anything yet. We are just starting. When it comes to taking people's job, we are not really there yet because the machine is still even learning how we do things. So, and the bottom line is, what are you currently doing now, and what is the tech evolution aspect of what you're currently doing? That's the question. If you can answer it. So take, for instance, I always give this example. The guy is doing cleaning. What's the tech part? It means that there are some robots now doing the cleaning. Somebody must be giving those robots command. How about you start learning how, even when you don't have the money to buy such machine yet? I remember when I don't have a car, I learned to drive a car even before I bought a car. Because every time I enter anybody's car that is driving, I'll be at all the steps, when they put the gear, when they match the brake. In fact, theoretically, I had driven a car before. But when it was time to get my own car, I only used 30 minutes to learn. 30 minutes, the guy just showed me. In fact, that 30 minutes was that he put me in the car, he was telling me what to do, but I could relate. 30 minutes, I was done. So, and that's what some of these things look like. We just need to be unintentionally, or let me say intentionally, getting along with this thing, natural, learning it. You see this video about this thing, you watch it, and that's how we learn. So if you have that kind of mindset, I don't see how any machine is going to take your job. Because, okay, if cleaners there's still somebody that will be needed to operate whatever robot that will be there. So if you are one of those persons who can operate the robots, you'll be fine. You'll be really fine. Okay, so let's look at I think these slides are not properly placed, but let's look at what AI is. So, like I mentioned before, the term artificial intelligence it means, in fact, when you listen to it very well, you understand. It means artificial intelligence. Let me use tautology here. Allow me. So, it is a way of just mimicking the way humans think. In fact, researchers have clearly stated that the most sophisticated the brain. this human brain that God created, nobody have really fully understood how this brain work. Because the more they try to into how the brain works, the more researchers see that there's more to it. So what engineers, scientists are now trying to do is to mimic how the brain works. You know, how to mimic how the brain works. So which means that, and the most interesting part is that researchers are now even trying to run away from the complexity of the brain. So let me give you just one example. And that's one thing, even in our businesses, we need to start doing. For some of us who use MacBook computer, it is possible that you mimic a Windows operating system in the MacBook. So which means that it is possible that you bypass, you show the way Windows operating system is. It is possible that you run a Windows operating system in it. However, you're just running an instance. It's not like it's not like they built everything from scratch. So sometimes in our businesses, we don't need to create everything ground up. You just look for the layer of what you want and just use that small portion. Because at the end of the day, when you're building a business, the money is not there. You know, so what researchers did right now, what we are doing right now is we are just imagine we are taking the surface of the brain. And that's why I said we haven't seen anything yet. If all the things we are the surface, because the brain is still very complex, so researchers are trying to avoid anything that won't make them make progress and just use the little part that they understand. You know, so then look at these things closely. When we talk about the term artificial intelligence, it just means that what can somebody do practically, manually, that can use machines to do without necessarily controlling it. Because in the past, computers operate is linear. So which means if you want computers to achieve 5 things, the computer will pick that thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One after the other. Like there's no any other. That's how the machine works. You just do it in a linear way. But what artificial intelligence means is that you're saying, hey, what if I want, in the instance where I want to go to Yanopaja from here, and I'm sending a machine. And because I'm sending a machine, and I say, okay, follow Oshodi. When you follow Oshodi, use that Oshodi expressway and go. We're saying that, is it possible to have a machine that will also understand that? Because I say you should follow Tomiland Bridge. If something is wrong at Tomiland Bridge, can the machine be intelligent enough to follow or to follow anywhere else? Just to make sure that that machine reached the destination. That's what artificial intelligence is about. Because if I'm driving now, all I'm just thinking, is there hold up on Tomiland Bridge? If there's hold up on Tomiland Bridge, can I maneuver? That's how we think as human. We think possibilities. We're not saying, can machine think like that? Instead of that linear thing, I have said follow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can the machine have a mind on its own? Or can the machine even say, hey, today is not the best day to go to Yanopaja. Can I wait till in the evening? Because it has analyzed several things. That's what artificial intelligence is about. Being able to replicate what we can do as human. And you know, that's why I keep saying that. We haven't seen anything yet. Because as human, we can do so many things. And right now, what the machine is able to do is still very little. And as you're going to see a lot of it. You know, some of us are already going to some offices and seeing some robots standing. At this moment, the robots are not even doing anything. If you go to some offices now, the robots are just following you. They're not even asking you any question. Machines are currently going through training now. What those things are doing is, they are learning. Oh, the customer walk in, they walk this way, they walk that way. One day you enter the office and it will be the machine that will answer you. And it's going to address you well because it has studied you. It knows that when you come, this is where you will go. And one of the reasons why people will go for machine a lot is simple. Machine will not ask you for salary increase. machine will not ask you for hospital allowance. It will not ask you for anything. It will not, machine will not tell you sick. Machine will just be working. So you see the advantage. Machine have a lot of, we need to take these things we need to be serious. We need to be very, very serious. I'm going to be showing some example of how some of the companies are using some of the AI already. Some people think that when it comes to AI, we are talking about one supernatural power. In fact, those fiction movie guys have really deceived us. You think it's one thing, like, to be honest, it's not true. It's still the same thing that we have been doing. It just means that, in fact, let me even now tell you guys, do you guys know that what it takes, the computing power, and when we talk about computing power, we're talking about the energy consumption, the data consumption, so many things that a machine needs to use to do something. So which means, for instance, if we're talking about electricity consumption, how many token is going to consume to get that thing done? AI right now consumes ×7 of what a normal computing power can do. Every time you go on a Google search, you search, I am looking for a new restaurant. Yeah? If it's taking Google to give you that result in maybe using just one power, artificial intelligence is going to be using ×7 of that one power. And that's why it's still really, really very expensive. Because what it's doing under the hood is going to ask, it can ask, like, just because you did you asked one question, it's going to ask itself almost like thousands of questions, possible questions. At the end of the day, it will now give you an answer that, okay, this is it. This is what you're likely to get. Meanwhile, if you're on Google search, what you're doing is search, where is the best restaurant? After you now search, where is this restaurant located? You now still give you one answer. And now say, these dishes that they have, you'll be searching it one by one. But with artificial intelligence, it's going to ask all of those questions for you, then give you the answer. And that's what makes the computational power very. So it's the same thing, nothing special. So I don't want us to start looking at it as anything. No, it's the same way that we live life, just that some people have put in a lot of probability. I was talking to a set of students. I was telling them that, you see, for a long time, you guys have been learning about find X, find Y. Do you know that when you start living your life as a grown-up, you still be looking for X and Y? Because you'll be looking for money. You'll be looking for businesses. You'll be looking, those are X. When you're talking about Y again, probability, if you're going to work today, if it doesn't rain, if they don't pay me my salary on time, some things will not be okay. We deal with some of these things almost every time. So please, let us don't look at computers as any super thing. It's just something that we know already. When we then talk about the human replacements, to be honest, if you can be good in your craft, I don't think machine is going to replace you. I don't think so. In fact, let me now even tell you guys my fear when it comes to this tech thing. The real big fear is it's going to get to a time when we won't be able to realize what is real and what is not real. That's my major fear. Like, when we get to that point where fake things look like real, and you don't even know, there's even some circumstances where you be feeling, am I dreaming or am I alive? That's where I am afraid, because so I was reading a book of how some group of researchers, they removed the brain, human brain. They store it in whatever they store it to make sure the brain was still alive. They now simulated that the brain was working with a cat, and the brain believed that it was working with a cat. Meanwhile, the brain was just in a box. And the brain feels like it was actually working with a cat. So if that is possible, I'm like, okay, how are we going to really survive when we get to that point where somebody can manipulate us to think we are in somewhere else, meanwhile we are not there? So that's my major worry. But I know as technology advances, human too would advance and will be fine. So let's don't be afraid that the tech is going to take anything from us. So, but let's quickly look at what are the areas, what makes AI AI, and what are the areas anybody can venture into. Now, there are technical part of AI. They are more like lightweight, but we can take a look at it together, and at the end of the day, you can decide which one you need to start doing research on. And I have 5 skills of skill set that are highly in demand when it comes to artificial intelligence. One of them is machine learning engineering, and when it comes to machine learning engineering, is these guys are more like the core of the subject itself. So much. We also have data science engineering. We have neural language processing. Then finally, I think we have computer vision engineering. I'm going to explain all of these things one after the other, just so we have understanding. Because when it comes to, we need to understand the technology that drive this thing. Everything I may be saying here may not make a lot of sense. In fact, I don't want to confuse anybody, but I just want you to know, for knowing sake. It's now left for you to go and do your further research and see whether it makes sense or not. So when we talk about machine learning engineering, these kind of guys have the skill set to actually select models. Whenever we hear the term model, so when we hear the term model, somebody's building a model. It just means that, so just say for instance, example a lot, I want to build a model that is going to tell how much real estate is going to cost in Ikoyi in the next 50 years. That's a model. So which means I will need how much the estate has been for like plenty years ago. I will now use those data to say, okay, if at every 10 years, for that to be an effective model, it means I need to test it out. So which means predict the next 5 years. If I say the next 5 years, they're going to be selling a particular property in Ikoyi, so amount of money. And it gets to that 5 years too, and the margin is very close. It means that my model is correct. So that kind of model, I can decide to now begin to sell it to real estate or those guys who are really into real estate, because it's going to really help them to tell their customer that, hey, see, if you give me so money and I invest it into this land, you get so money, so time. And when everybody gets to that point and it is true, it's something that everybody will be happy about. So that's a model. So at the end of it, there are people who specialize. It's called data science engineering. And those people are more into visualization, the statistics, because every time some of us use Google Map and we enjoy it a lot. AI has been with us since, I think in these 19, AI has been with us in a long time. These guys, these big guys, it's when they've used technology, they've used it and they are tired of it, they have another advanced version. That's when they will give it to us, the masses. So this AI that we are, this is their, let me use Yoruba word, aloku. The most sophisticated one. We don't even have an idea on it yet. But businesses are currently using it. They're not going to release it until they find another version. So you can imagine Google Map that we've been enjoying all this while is powered by AI. The reason why it's able to, your driving is able to change your route. The explanation I gave is able to do all of that. So there are people that they base on that visualization, which means what we can see and how we can perceive them. There's another one called natural language processing. So these guys, their major task is to make sure that they analyze language translation, text generation, summarization, like what we already do with ChatGPT right now. So which means these guys make sure that when you put in text into any of those machines, they're able to give you the right answer. Then computer vision. Some of us already see some of these helmets, the eye stuff that people get to wear. So these guys make sure that the object into those things are properly placed. When you wear it, you feel like, see, you're in heaven. Meanwhile, you're still on earth. So those are some of the technology that we have. And the final fifth one is the one I called AI ethics and responsibility. These are things any of us can venture into. So I think in all of the ones I mentioned, the one that does not require coding is this one. AI ethics and responsibility. In other words, how can people use AI responsibly? How can individuals make sure that what they are doing is the right thing? Yes, some of us, we put all our secrets inside the machine. I was speaking to a group of people and I was telling them that sometimes when I have business proposal, I won't make sure I tell the business, I won't make sure I tell the AI the person that is giving me the business. Because I feel like somebody behind can see the name of the people and go and take the business behind me. So we have to be very smart. Everything you put in an AI, somebody's looking at it. Somebody can see it. So, some of us who just put everything. So there's people's job that the advocacy is, hey, use AI responsibly. Make sure that your privacy is transparent, is accountable. So some people are experts in this field. And what they do is they help companies, they help countries to build policies around all these things. First was, you can be the advocate if you think the coding part is difficult. And anybody can talk about it. Somebody is bringing up AI, just read books, criticize it, or tell them your opinion. Make sure that you put the consumer first. That's what that aspect is about. So one thing I always like to say, ultimately, the primary focus remains on achieving desired outcome, rather than adhering to any specific method. So if you're just interested in knowing how, just read about it. You never can tell whether one of the reasons why you haven't really achieved what you want to achieve is because you haven't seen something that will spike idea. So, and when you see how some of this technology works, it's going to be very easy for you to navigate all these things. So now, I think dive into the business part, or should I just ask? We finish AI intro. I believe you guys you can even teach me what AI 101 is right now. Yeah. Am I still with everyone? Okay, cool. So now, we've understood the basics of artificial intelligence. So let's now understand why we should take this serious as business people. So I said before that, please, this slide. I missed off my slide, so I'm going to go back and yeah, let's talk about. So this is supposed to be after all of the AI. So business and tech, and how do we ensure that everything syncs together? So I'm going to make this very segment interactive because I know that we have business people here. And the reason why you guys came to listen to me is because you want to see how you can use technology to solve some problem in your business. So problem statement, when it comes to business, the primary problem of business innovation is the risk investing significant resources into ideas, but at the end of the day, you're not sure whether increase. So let's look at some data. And the reason why we need to really take this thing very seriously. Let's look at 55% of businesses, their product fail financially. 95%. So do you see the reason why businesses don't succeed at all? So it means that for most businesses that runs, 5%. So it means the competition is high, very high. And if you're just scratching your business on the surface, just know that you're not ready. If you really want to drive results, then extremely ready. Because the margin is very, 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 very little. Also, let's look at the market adoption. When it comes to market adoption, about 25% of products into the market are adopted. What does this mean? It means that if I say, I want to start selling bread, of all the people that started a breast selling business, only 25% of people in that category may be accepted. So these things are it's hard. And that's what brand will be since 1990 something. Till now, people are still buying it. And you will not see a competition to narrow them down. So it's hard. So in other words, as business people, if we put this problem, then we can't be lukewarm. We have to be extremely intentional. Whatever it takes legally for us to conquer any obstacle before us, then we need to do it. And it boils down to some of the questions we're going to be asking ourselves as business people. So let me just go back to our presence. Okay, this is my conversation about businesses. Serious. There are lots of technology advancements that you can take advantage of. We're going to be looking at some of them. When it comes to consumer expectation, the expectation, I don't know, it's always very satisfy customers. Always very hard. You can't, in fact, let me put it in a simple term, you can't please people. No matter how you want to. So it's hard. But again, with technology and your ability to listen to what people are saying, you can always be very close to understanding what people really want. Then also, one of the reasons why this conversation is very important is the global connectivity and competition. Because of the increased connectivity, billions of people having access to smartphones, internet, how can we take advantage of the way you operate today? Because electricity may be constant in these very months, and the next month it could even be that there's no electricity, there's no fuel. It could even be that there's just no anything. So as business owners, you just need to make sure that you find a way that you're able to cope in this kind of space. So impact on market structure. The traditional hierarchical market structure, is giving away more dynamic and interconnected ecosystem. So this gives us ability to collaborate with more businesses. So which means it's not a must that, like I said before, that you do some of these things yourself. So what we are going to be looking at is defining our market structure. Define market structure and explain how different industry operates. Navigating this whole business structure and how to drive business model innovation. We're also going to be looking at emerging technologies and how we can use it to shape our business. Okay, so I have 6 boxes here, and I want us to play some games. When it comes to business, the term business, what are the words that comes to your mind? So I'll need like 6 people. Just tell me. When you hear the term business. Profits, okay, that's one. What? Customer too. Capital, okay. Ma, you want to say something? Everybody, the word that you say, just keep it to yourself. Customer satisfaction, okay. What else? Well, we've gotten how many? Feedback, okay. We've gotten how many? 4. Okay. Location. Expansion. Okay. Now, let's do magic right now. Let's see what I have in each of them. All right. Revenue. Okay. When it comes to business, we think about cost. How much will it cost me to start the business? We think about marketing. Yeah. We think about technology. Think about products, the actual thing I want to sell. Finally, we think about the customer. You guys mentioned all of that. So these are some of the words that comes when starting any business. And the bottom line is, how do you connect all of these things together in the tech environment? So you're talking about, how do I get money? How much does it cost me? How can I put my brand out that people can see? What kind of technology do I need to achieve efficiency? The product itself, But let me now show another slide that shows in my own way how I think we should reorder things. For some of us, the product and the customer, you see those 4 things. You may not make revenue. You may have customer. You may not even have the technology. But you see, those 4 things are very important. Now, let's look at the reordering. First, I think if you're starting any business, the product is important. And that's when I said that if you haven't sold a shoe before and you want to own an e-commerce platform, you may end up to, waste your money. Product. When you find the product idea, then you look for the customer, somebody who is going to buy it, to validate whether they are going to buy it true. Then when you go to that customer and you confirm that this customer is likely to buy this, the next question you have to ask yourself is, what is the cost? What is the cost? And one of the reasons why I'm taking you guys through this business 101 is because I'll also show you guys the easier way to get all of these answers. But I really want you guys to know all these processes because they play a very huge role. So the next thing is to ask the marketing, at the end of the day, how are you going to market these things? Then you now start talking about technology before you now start talking about revenue. If you put technology and revenue first, you waste money. Because what are you converting into technology? What's technology? Like I said earlier, technology is just automating the existing process. So it is important that you have undergone this existing process first before you then think of technology, how you can enhance that process. So I end up seeing people sometimes come to me with business idea and they want to start one technology journey. I just always advise them, no, let's take it one step at a time. You go do the business and let that business determine what you're going to do. In fact, there are a lot of applications that I wish I have now, but I haven't ventured into them because I haven't figured out the operation. One of them is, I'll mention it here. Anybody can pick the idea and go and run it before me, it's fine. One of my aspirations is to have a freelance application, because what we currently do at Instinctively, we train people. So we have a lot of guys who want to work. So I'm also looking at creating a platform that they can start freelancing early enough. But the reason why I haven't started that project is because there is freelancers crisis in Nigeria. They lack trust. You cannot trust. See, as a technology person, they have dealt with me. How much more somebody who is not technologically inclined? So the problem is, I've not been able to figure out how to deal with that problem, because if I create a platform right now and people come into it and it becomes something that they take people's money and no value, before you know, EFCC will catch me. They'll say yes, and they won't know that my intention was good. And that's what I'm talking about, really understand, so that you don't put yourself in trouble. If you don't go through that business processes, I have hired developers, designers to work with me. They'll be communicating with you before you make initial payment very well. That communication will be smooth. You chat them, they will answer you at midnight. They will answer you, but you make that commitment, pay them. When you pay them like this, the first 1 week, they'll be very committed. But when they finish spending the money, in fact, some of them will come and meet you that you need to give them more money. And at the end of the day, the job is not making any progress. So that's our space. That trust is not there. So I just had to put a stop on the project until I have how I can make sure that if collecting 50 naira from somebody, the person deliver that value. Until I am sure our legal system can hold somebody accountable, even when they sign SLA or something, and it won't cost my business that much. Because if I'm doing a business and I'm using more than the revenue to take people to court, and the matter will not even be concluded on time, and the money will not even come back, so what's the business? So all these things, to be honest, need to be figure out before you even start thinking about any tech part of any product. So look at this order. Product idea, that treasure, figure it out. Look for somebody that is going to buy, because you're not creating something for yourself. If you don't validate whether anybody is going to buy it or not, and you just assume, that's very dangerous. Then you need to know the cost of operation, then marketing cost as well. Then you can now start saying, okay, now can I use technology to make those things very easy to do, because they're going to be repetition. And that's where you can begin to ask the right question. Yeah, so pretty much one tool that all of us are already used to is ChatGPT, generative AI. That's the categories it falls into. This tool is something that we can generate product ideas. That product I told you about. In fact, when I use the word product idea, it's the same thing as business idea. But let me use business idea so that it's easy for us to understand. You can use this to generate a business idea. In fact, I don't think there should be anybody here after today that won't have a business idea. Just go sign up into this tool. Describe any situation, and it's going to tell you ideas on how to implement them. And I feel like it's not like deal as people. I think where the problems are a lot are in the implementation. How do you implement it? This tool can also give you marketing ideas. It can also give you marketing ideas. Another thing it can give you is the technology idea. So there's nothing like, I'm not technologically inclined. That's not really, really true. With this tool, you can just go describe anything. Just take, for instance, right now, I have a cleaning business. I can go to this machine and say, hey, hello, I have a cleaning business. What kind of technology do you think I can use to optimize the cleaning process? It's going to give you all manner of things, all manner of recommendation. And you're going to read it. Then, when you now read it, there are not going to be some terms or terminologies that you don't understand. So maybe one of the response says that, so right now, you need to make sure that you have a product pipeline. Maybe the first time you hear, product pipeline. What's a product pipeline? Instead of you to be afraid, which grammar? Carry that product, that big grammar that I gave you. Copy it and put it back inside the prompt and say, can you explain what product pipeline means? In fact, even if it does give you another big English, tell it to give you an illustration of what a product pipeline is. So that's how we break it down. So, and that's why when you look at all these things in the first instance, it can be very broad. But when you start doing it small, it will now be telling you all those things small. And before you know, you have a very huge ideas. And there's nothing that is not online these days. There's nothing. So, ideas, you can get it there, Another thing is, when you gather all these things, to be honest, you need to really understand that that tool is giving you response generally. It's just giving you response generally. It doesn't really understand Ikoyi. It doesn't understand K2. It doesn't understand Oyo State. It doesn't even understand you. So, but it's going to give you responses based on how every other informations that it has read before. People who have done things that you're about to do, it's going to give you information based on them. So it is now your job to make sure that you do your own findings, fact check. After that, all those things, document it. In fact, you copy it out, you create your own file, you put it well. Then you now start going for help. You talk to people. So if I say the cleaning business now, I can ask the AI, please, where can I get my customer? It's going to describe all the possibility of getting customers that you can even, that naturally you can never think is possible. It's going to tell you where the customers are. You can even now ask it again. Please, how can I convince this customer, considering the fact that they already have people cleaning for them? How can I penetrate into the business? It's still going to give you ideas. So that's how powerful these tools are. And it keeps getting better. Then you meet the actual customers themselves. You ask them real questions. For businesses who already have cleaners, for instance, I'm just using cleaning business because like the base that all of us can really understand. Somebody who already have cleaning, a company who already have cleaning company doing the cleaning for them. You meet those kind of companies. You ask them, are they satisfied with the cleaning job? At first, they may tell you yes. On the second note, you can ask them, is there anything, what do you like? If you say you like it, what do you like about this clean people that makes you, the person will tell you, note it down, oh, this fantastic attribute, as you mentioned. Then you still ask, is there anything that they don't have? The person will think, and like, oh, maybe so area, maybe so. You note it down. Now, what you're doing is you're not acting based on general assumption. You're also going into your own audience to ask the real thing. I remember when Pastor Yinka Sani, I think when we were having something like this at the provincial level. So on the stage, he asked me, he was sharing that the daughter wanted to go into ceramic, this ceramic thing. Yes, he mentioned it. And he was like asking me how can they go about it? You know, my advice was just that I don't know how much they're going to invest into it, but they should go and ask people whether they will buy it. They should go and ask and see if people will buy it true. Because the fact that you go to Mr. Moses' house and you saw that they bought ceramics and did party and share, it's not every time they do party. You know, it's not every time. So you need to understand how, and some of these people, that business, they don't mass produce. It is when you want to do that thing, they will ask you, what do you want? You guys negotiate the money. When they agree, that's when they will order for it. So it's not like they are really putting their money inside. So, you know, I just told them that clearly just find out if people are going to be requested. I didn't even follow up on him to know how it went. But anything you want to do, go and ask. Go and ask. Ask the actual people. When I was starting my learning company, Instinct Hub, then, first thing I did with the team, of course, we did all this planning. There was no AI then I wish there was AI then to help. We did all the writing manually. We did all the writing manually. So we now had to go and start doing research. What we realized clearly was that people who really want the skills don't have money to learn. People who have money to learn don't have the time to learn. So the guys who have the whole time to learn don't have money to give you, to say, teach me. The guys who don't have time but have the money in their pocket don't have time. So, and if the guy who doesn't have time, that has money, he won't give you the money because he doesn't have time to learn. So one of the things we did was to find a way around. So we now started looking for money for people that don't have. So which means the go-to was that, okay, go to organizations that are into CSR, that have money to spare. Can you go and get some money from them and use that money to finance the people that have time and cannot, cannot pay. So that's how we then navigate the process. So we look for money for guys that don't have. We use it to then train those guys that don't have. Now, what we then did for guys, how many do I have more, sir? Okay. So the guys that now don't have time, but they have money, guess what we did? We then go to the employers. We go to the employers, we tell them, you see these your people. if you give them so thing, they will multiply so places. We measure the metric, tell them, pam, pam, pam. Then, before you know, we now started getting also corporate bodies that would then give the staff break because of the training. So we're able to create the time officially for them to learn, while we also still get the money from their employer to train them. So it is research that open one's mind to all these things. So just imagine we just kept on saying, come and learn, no, come and learn. Nobody's even going to visit us because we are dealing with people who have any different kind of problem. I don't have time, I have time, I have money, I don't have money, things like that. But with appropriate question, and we were very straightforward. How much can you give me to learn? Some of them will tell you 0. Some of them will tell you, just so many responses. But I mean, in those responses, you're able to really, so there's no business is too small for those kind of findings. And that's why we talk about technology. There's no assumption in technology. Do you know that when it comes to applying tech into your process, anything that is not right is not right. There's no way you want to do it. If you don't perform, if you don't get to work 8 o'clock, and you say that the door should be open for anybody who gets to work less than 8 o'clock, the moment you get to the office, 1 minute past 8, that door will never open. That's how technology works. So there's no assumption. If you introduce any wrong thing into it, you're going to get wrong results. So, and that's what I really want us to put into our mind, that regardless of what the machine is giving you, you still need to do your background work. But what the machine has done for you is it has created a path for you. It has shown you where to knock, what to do and how to go about it. Another thing is costing. It's going to give you costing idea, but the most annoying thing about the costing idea right now is to give you in dollars. It's going to give you those costing in dollars. So you also need to find your way around our price here. So it's going to be giving you those prices in dollars. But when you ask around, of course, you would have seen people doing it. But that doesn't mean you're going to go cheaper. But because you're just coming into the market, or you're trying to disrupt the market, you need to make sure that your cost into is competitive. Same thing with revenue as well. At this level, it's able to help you make projections. So you also need to fact check. I did one revenue forecast one time. It was so ambiguous, didn't achieve it. So you need to be very, at this point, regardless of what the machine is giving you, fact check it, so that you don't get surprises. So let's talk about navigating market structure and some of the things to look out for. So when we talk about market structure, let me just show all the boxes. The text are a bit small, even me too, I can't really see it from there. Let me just use my monitor from here. So talking about market structure, some things to put at the back of our mind. The variables that you cannot run away from. You cannot run away from the cost. You cannot run away from customer loyalty. Some people, if you treat some customer, they will represent you anywhere. I was telling a set of people yesterday that when you see some brands who are using iPhone user and Android user, they'll be fighting themselves. And even the owner of the companies don't even know. They don't even know they are fighting. Some will be saying, iPhone is the almighty. Another one will be saying, Android is, come on, there are certain things you can do. That's loyalty. I always told my wife that you're going to migrate from Android to iPhone one day. It's a lie. No, Android all the way. That's where I am. That's what I like. And that's loyalty, which means the business has been able to create an impression in the hearts of those fellow that come rain, come shine, they are willing to do with the brand. They are willing to do business with the brand. Another example is even our operations. So recently I was going through some student comments. So I read one heartbreaking a bit. So because we organize free trainings a lot. And some of those free training, of course, there are limited support that we provide to those faith trainings. So the guy then came and started saying, oh, I've started this program, I haven't gotten any value, A, B, C, and Z. You know, as business owner, when you see that kind of comment, you don't want to quickly respond because you might be too emotional about it. This is something we've been in for a long time. Then somebody just came and said all manner of things. So I just kept quiet for a while. It wasn't long. Another student responded that, are you sure that you're okay? Like, me, I've benefited, you know, and another student who came about. You can't satisfy everybody, but if you can satisfy the real customer that you have, if whatever thing happen, they will stand for you. You know, so that loyalty is very key, and we need to hold it very dear. Don't be that kind of people where you don't regard customer. And let me also still say this. See, revenue is like the oxygen of any business. Any business that is not making revenue, their days are numbered. Revenue is, I don't know how to put it. Revenue are very crucial. Revenue, how do you multiply the revenue of the business? So these are variables that are very common in businesses. And share markets. Take, for instance, you want to start a business now in Ikoyi here. There are people already doing it. You're coming to share the space with people. No matter how fantastic you are, you're coming to share the space. So you need to know. Or you own a bread factory. You're coming to share the space. So don't be too selfish and think it's only you. You need to know that, oh, this place, me too, I want my share. Now, your credibility over time can give you more share of the market. But you need to have an idea that it is not only you. You're coming to share the space with series of people. That also still leads us to competitions. People will always make sure that they chase you, you know, and make sure that you don't exist. In fact, for big companies, what they do, I won't mention names, they look for promising small businesses and buy them off. If they see that you have a potential of coming to be a problem to them, they buy you off. And when they buy you off, that's all. You just become an experiment. They'll merge you into their ecosystem. It's very funny. That's what they do. You know, so, and if you don't now sell to them, what they will now still do to you, they release a very close product to your product and make it extremely cheap. And your own cost of operation is like this. You're struggling. Make it very cheap. Oh yeah, let's break it down. Let me mention names so that you guys can relate 100%. Look at GoTV and DSTV. Can anybody tell me the company they chased inward? StarTime, exactly. It was when StarTime was coming. Come on, StarTime now, everybody. They just released GoTV with 2015. You know, so you can, the moment you're coming, they are watching you. They are watching you. They have, in fact, they have research and development units paying attention to the market trend. So anything you're doing, don't think it's only you. Somebody is your enemy of progress by default. You know, so you need to, and if you are aware, you will know that the fight is worth fighting. Look at a platform like Facebook. Microsoft offered to buy him about over $1 billion. The guy said he's not selling. $1 billion as at then. Now this is a company that makes over $1 billion every minute. Every minute. You know, so once that dream is clear to you, you then need to keep pushing it as a business person. These competitions, they won't leave you. You know, the same Facebook now, and now they were also buying other companies, doing the same thing. The system is the same thing. Look at, they bought Instagram, you know. They bought, okay, so, they said my mic is not too loud, sorry. So they bought, these people will try to buy you at any point in time. So, and these are very key things you need to understand, so that when you begin to see those waves, don't be surprised. Just be thanking God that you're making sense, and you also need to be dynamic enough to maneuver. Also, product difference. When you get to the markets, you need to stand your ground. There are set of, if I ask all of us here which bottled water is your preference, everybody have preference, and everybody will have the reason why that's their preference. In fact, these days, me and my wife, we don't have preference anymore because the bottled water are getting expensive. so we just, we don't really have, because no preference. We don't really have preference. Like, we just look at the water. We go to an event. We ask, who is the manufacturer of this water? How much do people bought it? We compared with the one we are using. Oh yeah, let's try it. We tested. Oh my, it's okay. And before we started buying it. So again, you need to stand out. But guess what? There is a particular bottle water. If I have my money today, that's the one we are going to go back to. Because they've segmented the way they branded the way. If I can afford it, that's the one we are going to go back to. So you need to stand out. Even if your customer cannot afford you, they go away. The day they have the right resources, they will know that it's you and they will come back. So you need to be able to stand out like that. So let's look at some practical emerging technologies. Companies. I have two segments here. We'll look at international brands. We'll then look at local brands. Can I have the slide? Thank you. Okay, so the first international brand for us is Netflix. We can see how it's continue to use technology to evolutionize the entertainment space. And you may ask me how. Do you know Netflix Power today is their recommendation engine? You finish watching one movie like this, you promise yourself that I just watch this one movie and that's all. Before you finish watching that movie, the algorithm has look at you and say, look, if I give this guy this one, we'll watch again. Before you know, you've clicked and you're watching the actual movie. These are what platforms like these are using technologies to do, to make recommendations. So which means they are trying to say that because you watch this movie, people in the past who watched this movie liked that movie. So it's likely that you like that movie. So they will then recommend the movie for you. So that's what platforms like this are doing. So the next is also Amazon, thing in the tech space, trying to harness technology together to make, in fact, they are the number one e-commerce platform in the whole world. So, and they try as much as they can to automate these whole processes. So whatever you are trying to venture into, just try to research technology company that have done it. When I was starting Instinct of Bazaar then, it's not a thing of, don't think, in fact, the greatest mistake you make? Think that you want to make your idea original. You want to think it by yourself. Like, you don't want to copy anybody. That's the most, I don't know how to categorize it, but it's the highest mistake. See, if you need to copy anybody, so long as what you're copying is not causing any harm to anybody, it's possible. Because at the end of the day, that brand you are looking at copy someone else. Everybody copy everybody. And it doesn't make sense that you go and start from square one. So what I did in my own first time, there's this platform called Treehouse. Treehouse is a very renowned training institute. They've, in fact, I even learned technology skills from them. So I looked for the email of the founder. I emailed him. I said, this is what I'm trying to do in my locality. You've done a fantastic job in your country. Nothing in my country. Can you just talk to me in 5 minutes? And the guy said, oh, that's cool, that's cool. Oh, I messaged him on Twitter because I don't have his email. He then sent me his email that I should email him. And that's how we started the conversation. The first contract we got was as a result of the conversation with him. Because what he told me, he said, look, Move this direction, move this direction. Don't pay attention to this, don't do this. Prepare this, bam, bam, send it to XYZ number of people, and boom, I did that. We got our first contract. And I can tell you for free that that contract that we got is still part of what is sustaining the business till now, because the brand keeps renewing, keeps bringing more businesses as a result of that. Now imagine I put shoulder, I say, nah, this guy's built his own. Me, I want to build my own. It doesn't work that way. So just calm down. People who have done it, ask them. They are willing to share, because see, the pain that these guys went through, and they don't pray for anybody to go through it, because starting a business is hard, very hard. And when it comes to business, there's nothing like covering it so that they will not copy me. Sorry, what is not out there? What really matters is your ability to implement. How you do it is what matters. When your customer comes, is what matters. Somebody was asking me, oh, why are you guys doing online learning again? Why will you, when there's YouTube there, when there's, do you know the question I threw to the guy? I say, even when you have YouTube, how many own the country? Why hasn't the YouTube taken the unemployment away? Why do you still have jobless people? Why do you still have people without skill? The problem is there, regardless of how you put it. So somebody is telling you that, hey, this thing exists now, so if you say somebody cannot start a fintech again because you have the likes of Paystack, Flutterwave, sorry, they are still. When I went to visit my mother in Ogbomoso, we are still going. If you see, before you get, in fact, when I'm going, I'll make sure I have the cash that I have, because the stress in accessing money in those locations, it's not like here where you just walk around without money and you're fine. And somebody want to go and solve that kind of problem, you're not telling the person that whole solution already exists. That's not how it works. So pretty much, let's be very honest with ourselves, and don't allow ego to deny you of getting what you can get. There is Ray, his name is Ray Carson or something like that. If I don't call that guy, if I don't have, the guy was so interesting that he even agreed to have a live call with me. You know, even after I did all the assignment he asked me to do, he still had a follow-up call to help me go through it and told me what to remove, what to add. These kind of people, they want somebody. Just imagine I go to him, I'm not asking him for money. Or you go to him, you're not asking him for what. I just went to him for experience. Something that he will give me without him. It doesn't cost him anything. In fact, it didn't cost him anything. He was happy to even do it. You know, sometimes when we are going to people for help, we are going to add burden to them. And that's why sometimes we do it. You know, so in your business life, how you're trying to groom the business, you need to understand that that person you're going to meet has his own headache. So if you really want anything from them, in fact, rather than looking at how you can extract from them, think of how you can give value to them. Because what I was telling that guy, I was having meetings with, I said, look, in this country, we have plenty of people with no skills. Oh, your platform is fantastic. Because of me, if you can have more people. But we couldn't allow aspect of conversation, because at the end I felt like the traffic that I need, if I'm directing it to him, then so I had to. In fact, that was what brought about creating our own platform, and we direct traffic to. So sometimes the goal may not align. As a business person, you also need to know that, yeah, because you're giving me technology does not mean that you take all the glory. You know, so when you put all of those things into perspective, they can walk up to anybody who have built that pipe, ask them what they have done, so that you don't make mistakes that they make. You don't build tech that they try to build and it failed. Another is Uber. You know, so you can see how with when we talk about the transportation, they've done a lot. You know, when I came to Lagos, when I came to Lagos for an interview before I moved to Lagos, if there was Uber then, I won't get lost. Yes, this story is always funny. I was at Marina, in fact, very close to TBS, and I was coming to Glover Road here, Defense House, and for some reason, I entered a bus that took, because I was coming to Obelegushi Road, so they now took me to Obelegushi in Lekki. Took me to Obelegushi in Lekki. So when I got to Obelegushi in Lekki, and the interview was 9 a.m., and I had woken up from 5, around 8, I'm still at Obelegushi Road. So a guy now told me, uncle, it's the Obelegushi behind. I have to go back. And that still brought me back to that spot where I left. Guess what? When I called those yellow cab, the man collected 5K from me. Something that I should have, if I knew my way, it would cost me less than 1,000 naira. But with technology, you visualize the location. In fact, with that, you could even see how many minutes. It makes life easy. And that was, that those yellow cab men, it became a fight one time. That broke their chain. The technology came and disrupted that whole thing. Then they couldn't do all those things that they used to do before. And that's what technology migrated to upgrade their cars into Uber, make money, and they didn't have to start beefing anybody. One thing about tech is, I don't think Juju can work on tech. If you like, I don't think tech is tech. If you like, go and carry all the Juju in the world. That traffic lights, after another minute to show green. So tech is here to stay. It's just that we just need to be versatile enough to take advantage of it. Another is Airbnb. Hotel business used to be something very somehow, very rigid. When Airbnb came, anybody can use their house as a guest house. Can you imagine? So you can start an hotel business even without you having an hotel. Just so you have a space, but just so you know his house as Airbnb. I just heard of a case currently going on between a musician and a woman in the US. The lady rented the house. The guy rented the house from the lady and listed it on Airbnb. So the owner of the house was on Airbnb one day and saw a house listed. That's where the lawsuit started. Because the woman said she noticed that he is the best tenant she has ever had. He pays before the house rent due. So now going on Airbnb and seeing that broke her heart, and they are currently in court, and somebody's house that is not your own on that platform. But this is just showing how things are becoming. So if somebody is saying, so it depends on the agreement. When you're renting a house, there's no sublet. There's always a clause that says you can't sublet. Once that clause is there, so you can't. So that means that if somebody is saying, invest in real estate and buy a land, buy a house, it means that it's possible. Because a question that always comes to people's mind, if I buy a land, buy a house now, how can I make the money quicker again? So it means that you can buy a land, buy a house, build a house, start making it using it for a rent, and your income will begin to come. You do lesser thing, find somebody to clean it. In fact, the person who is coming to rent, do the Airbnb thing, is supposed to be the one to clean. It's additional money if you find a cleaner for them. It's additional money if you find somebody to do laundry for them. So you can begin to look at all these things that technology are bringing to us. So rather, you have to wait for them to call you to confirm, mister, are you the one that make this transaction of 1 million naira? Should we approve it? If you say yes, then that money will go through. Now, the problem with that is, imagine if maybe 1,000 people make such transaction at once. those customer representatives will have to call those numbers one by one. And that's why transactions like that don't get approved on time. Platform like Sterling, what they've done is to automate the process. Now, robots call you to confirm. So if you make a transaction that is more than $1 million, the robot is going to call you, like, I don't even think it's up to 5 seconds. The moment you press send, like, bam, the robot is going to call you immediately. And it's going to say, you made a transaction. If you want us to confirm it, press 1. If you want us to cancel, press 2. You press 1, transaction go through. Now, this thing happens to millions, thousands of customers at the same time. So this is what we talk about when we say technology automates the process. So you can imagine now imagine those guys that their job is to call. You know, the bank has let them go in a long time, or maybe put them somewhere else. You know, so those are automations that some of these businesses brings. Another example I'll give is what we also did. What we try to do is, so in fact, when you're enrolling some level of students at the initial stage, you want to assess their level of skills. You want to know where they are so that you can either place them in the right position or give them recommendation of things to take. So what we did is to automate the assessment process. We're currently having a training at a secondary school. And one of my colleagues was saying, are we going to do the assessment on paper? I was just looking at him like this. How are we going to use paper? So you mean that we'll use paper, we'll print, you share the paper, somebody will now have to mark, somebody will now have to enter the result into an Excel spreadsheet. I told him that's not me, you know. But with our process, the students were able to take the assessment, got the result there, everybody knew their stand, whether you make it to the shortlist or you don't. And that's what automation means. Just imagine I have to rely on people to mark, to re-enter. Somebody will even enter the wrong name into the system. You know, the student will not be complaining that, oh, I passed, I didn't pass, and things like that. But without automation, we're able to bypass all of that. Another thing the bank center is using, it's KYC. You know, so they're also automating this process. That's why it's hard these days that you see an Okada man, a bike man, looking for house address when you try to open a bank. They've tried to automate this process. And one of the ways they can automate this process, an example would be taking good use of the current NIN. Our NIN, our BVN, those things are already there. So through some back-end call and all of that, they're able to verify the user's address and things like that. You know, so these automations have a lot of advantage. Also, Lagos State is also automating some things. In some areas now, if you beat traffic, they won't even tell you anything. It's the day that you want to come and renew your plate number. That's the day that you pay all the debts, you know. State 2 is doing fantastic thing when it comes to that. And that's very interesting. You know, especially when you are Ikeja axis, please don't beat any traffic lights. They might not chase you, but the day you go and renew your plate number, you pay the bill. You know, so that's what automation allows you to do. At convenience, you get to achieve greater things. Well, yeah, I mean, there's you know, yeah, it's to take a long time, and it won't go into the account. So, I mean, if the automation works, the money will go into their own personal account. Okay.
To allow the street light to do the work, you know, they will just obstruct the whole process. And if people, maybe someone is just coming into the town for the first time, you know, the person can, you know, they would, those people, they will, they can confuse every person's, you know, that are already on traffic. You know, they will just tell them that they should go, and the thing is still showing red. So He will fall for it. So I think these people, they still need to, they still need to go through some orientation, So I can imagine yesterday they just destabilized the whole process, whereby where there's no traffic, they cause because of money, because of money. So God will help us.
So 100%. And that's a local problem here. People, yeah. So somebody was talking about our electoral process, how it can be digitized and things like that. Then the conclusion that comes to my mind is that we all know that if things were to be done right, it would be maybe more than 95% of leaders that we have will not be there today. So if you look at, let's say, I'm just saying 95 so that if anybody come and catch me to part of the 5%, so when you look at it very well, process is what helps us to achieve efficiency and perfection. People will make sure that they frustrate the process so that in chaos, people may gain. In chaos, that's when, just like if you hear some of the theory going on in the north, some of those places that they are having big issues are places that have mining capacity, they just make sure people gain a lot with chaos. But people, we just need to have a different mindset. So take, for instance, with this police thing, yesterday, I was going to train some students at Surulere. I've driven all the way from Ikoyi. I'm at that Surulere, that stadium. When you're coming, you have first traffic light, you have second traffic light. So, and it was green, but my speed was too high that it was into yellow. I couldn't stop in the first traffic light. So I used that yellow into the next one and I stopped there. Before I know, they came with all the Kenny. They told me that I beat traffic. And I promised myself I won't speak English with police. Make peace with them, please. Anywhere you find yourself, make peace with them, because their tactics is they want to make you upset. In that chaos, they will exploit you. In that chaos, they will make you commit the real offense. So, and I was pissed because I was already communicating with my guys already at the training ground, making sure things. So I was not pleased with some things. So I was already pissed. So when they said, "Where's your driver's license?" Where I even made mistake, and I give them my card that contains several other cards because it's just a bunch. They didn't have my driver's license; they can see it. I gave it to her. She folded it, pocket that one. So then I said I should go and park my car. I was telling them, if I want to beat traffic, I will go. I won't wait. If I have intention to beat traffic, choo-choo, and the road is free, nobody is even before me, I will go. But they were not listening. And I calculated it. If I wait for these people, since it's only my card that I look at them, I just drove. I went to the training. I left the card with them. So after I finished the training, finished everything, I now came back. I parked my car far away, and I told my colleagues that you guys should be careful. If they arrest me, it's possible. So and I went to her. And I started talking. And I started communicating. She now said, no, that they taught me I am upset. They didn't even know that me I can laugh. I said, where I was going was very important. And there's nothing I will say to them then that will make sense. The woman just say, I need to go and I need to drop something so that they will go and bring it where in the office that they've kept it. Holy Spirit just told me, that this thing is in your pocket, which where you've kept it. And I told her, well, yeah, let's throw to the place together. That don't worry, I'll gist with you. You won't even know when we get here. The woman will just know that I need to drop something. But I still insist that I am not going because I shouldn't drop anything. But we keep having the conversation. So what I now did, and I say, but you're not treating me nice. We came all the way from Ikoyi to come and do that for free. And this is how you guys are treating me. And I brought my phone out, started showing a picture of the kids, how they are learning. And I said, you should have told me this thing before now. As if I told you this thing before, you don't listen to me. But now I'm telling you now, listen to me and give me my card, let me go. But somehow, we were able to settle. They gave me back my card, and I left. What I still pick out from that, as a business person, you need to know your priority. You need to also know that negotiating power is nothing that anybody can take away from you. That morning, if I don't leave them there, because I just look around, they've removed the stuff that will bust my tire. I saw that I can go and it won't cause any harm to anybody. And because I know that they were intentional about to extort me at that particular time, I felt like, okay, this matter can wait. Business first. So I had to go to that location, make sure whatever we wanted to deliver was delivered before I came back to solve that problem. So the moral of that story is that in between you trying to execute your business mandate, some things will come. But guess what? I think you need to focus on that place you're going. Issues can be resolved. Things can be... there are some things that should do it later. But just make sure that in all of that, try not to break the rules. Let's quickly look at the few more slides. So I'm wrapping it up so that we can take questions, if there's any. So in all of this, let me now tell you what businesses do. They are at the edge of everything they do. Businesses make sure that they are now. And one way to look at this is very simple. Call any brand today, any notable brand globally. You see that they have a way of teaching people their process. Now, let's put it this way. You're trying to start a business and you've taken it to a particular level. You've learned something along the way. Do you know that it is also possible that you become a mentor for others trying to grow? And never think that because you're not growing, because you're sharing your skill, and finish the business. Trust me, it cannot finish. In fact, you're giving yourself advantage. And let me tell you why. The moment you cultivate the habit of sharing what you know, everything you've shared has expired, though. You need to share new thing. What I taught is not the same thing. I'm still going to be teaching some people on Tuesday. In fact, these ones are executive. It's not the same thing. Because of that, I am forced to learn. Today's session, I didn't sleep through the night. Just making sure that, okay, I'm able to communicate, relate. In fact, some of the things that I put together, inspiration I finally got this morning. Because you have to express your knowledge to others, you'll be forced to research. You'll be forced to know more. Things you knew yesterday, because you have spoken about it, will no longer be relevant to you today. Because you are compelled to do more research in that your business so that you can share again when you have the opportunity tomorrow. Now, what does that now put you? Gives you a ticket to become a thought leader in that your business line. People who others will consult when they start thinking. That's it. So, aside all these things that we're talking about, find it joy. Find joy in sharing what you know. Because that's the only way you can refill. One of the ways pastors are always refreshed is because they preach. Any pastor that does not preach, I don't know. Because every time they will do research, even if it is for them not to sleep, they will check the scripture. They will get better. And that's why when you see them, when they speak, it's like you just, where do people used to see this thing? You just coin it this way. And because they need to refill. So imagine that kind of thing in your business life, where constantly you must refill. And when you have that kind of mindset, I don't think you'll be, so just have that drive to refill at all time. And remember, when you keep refilling and you don't let out. To get to a point, you won't have space again. So you refill, you let out. You refill, you let out. And there are several ways to let out. All right? So any question? Okay, I think I missed one slide. Yeah, so I created, if you're interested to share your skills, like to market your skills, because it's going to get to a point where whatever you know right now is an asset, where others will have to buy it to be able to do it. So if you're interested in that, this course could help you learn step by step on how I create all of this whole thing that I do, and even make them available online so that people can buy. So you never can tell where somebody else may need it and be willing to pay for it. So thank you for your time. It's question time. Has anybody learned anything today? Or did I just talk to myself? Or did I just speak English? All right, so question time. Just ask me. So at this point, ask me, tell me your business problem. Let's iron it out. At least to an extent, I've been through a lot. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I want to appreciate you for your time and then your teaching. I must confess that I like your teaching skills. And one thing I want to ask about the AI. At times, I'm someone that is skeptical about social media, but of recent, I decided to out somehow on just make myself visible. I saw something on social media visibility, so I tried to be visible. And then when you were talking about this AI stuff, you talked about we not allowing ourselves to exploit it. But I have this skepticism that what if I start asking like that ChatGPT? At times when I want to ask question or use it for certain research, I don't want to now link everything and then maybe tomorrow I don't know how it will work. I don't know how it is. So I need you to like tell me a little about it. Is it something that maybe I put out my business name, I say, how can you help this to do this? Or how can I use this to do this? Will it against me tomorrow, or will it have a chat history and it will keep it and maybe, I don't know. That is just what I want to know.
I think that's a brilliant concern. So our question is, she's a bit worried that hope the AI will not backfire one day or will not have any negative effects on our business or herself. So there's this say that we have, it's just like even the way you go to Google now and you browse that, hey, show me the histories are kept, no doubt about it. In fact, that's why the platform will even tell you that don't put sensitive information into it. So I think the most important thing is we need to just understand that somebody could see what we are asking. If it is not for somebody to see, then we shouldn't ask. I think that's the best way to put it. But does that now mean that we shouldn't take advantage of it? I would say that the benefits outweighs the risks sometimes. Because to be honest, these phones that we use, the device, okay, let me put it this way. All your images that you take, that you put on the cloud, it is some people's job to be guiding that cloud. How come some of us are still taking pictures and just putting it there? So, but it's safer to put the pictures there because I can see it anytime. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to take any picture of me. In fact, I am very concerned in my home the kind of pictures you take with any device, whether the thing is going to upload it anywhere or is not, I am very concerned. So we have to be intentional about all these things. Somebody somewhere can see it. So whatever you don't want anybody to see at all, don't put it there. But regarding them projecting oneself out there, to be honest, I don't think anything you need to do to put yourself out there legally, do it. The reason is simple. Except if you're not a business person. The moment you are into business conversation, maybe I'm talking to her right now, we're talking about business. Do you know the next thing that will come to her mind? Search for his name online. That's what she's doing. She's not asking me, I'm saying, oh, my name is Noah, I have done XYZ, I'm still speaking English. If she have the opportunity, in fact, if she doesn't have the opportunity, of all the things I will say, the only thing she will remember is my name. Because she makes sure that she won't forget my name because she wants to search for it at the end of the day. So the question is, when people then search for that your name, what will they see? If we're concerned about that, I think we then need to make sure that when people search, they see something. At least they see a good profile about us. You know. So, sorry. In fact, the job I came for Lagos for interview for, before they gave me the job, they went through my social media handle. They went through everywhere I am. Scrolling. Before me like this, I know some months before then, God has told me to go through all my social media, clean it up. Because on Facebook, for instance, some people will tag you on some things you didn't send them. Yank it off. Surprisingly, when I got to the place, they said the last task was my social media handle. And before me like this, they were going through everything. And they were scrolling. So if I hadn't gone through that and, clean up those things, it may affect me. So our digital presence is like us. We need to do everything possible to make sure that we have that better representation. Thank you. Does that answer your question? Or partially? Or it does? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so very much. Oh, it's afternoon. It's 1. Okay. So my question is this. As a designer, sometimes, or mostly what we do is to measure a client and start drafting and all that. Is there any way AI can help me? You send a picture of you, I'll put it in AI to give me specific, outfits, how I can color it, design it, and get a measurement, even without measuring you physically. Is there any way AI can come in that way? Like, for instance, there was a time I was trying to download AI on my phone, and it was just telling me to pay certain amount of money, yearly, monthly, and all of that. So at some point, I want to even drop the phone and get another phone, because they told me that with my phone, I can't get anything free. So I have to get another kind of phone. But suddenly, on my WhatsApp, I just saw Meta, and anything I put in, it give me back to back. And I'm so happy about it. Recently, I also saw on my Facebook, I could do the same thing, But then, there's some specific question I'm asking based on this, putting in a picture to design and see how the outfit. But I'm not getting it exactly what I want to.
So, yeah, this is a brilliant one. So when it comes to the AI space, I know in my previous definition I was talking about visual engineering, things like that. So the AI space is a bit scattered now. So which means the AI that can see cannot write. The one that can write cannot see. The kind of AI you're talking about now is the one that can see. That can see and that can write. So that can see and that can write. And so we are getting there. but we're not 100% there. So I would say that it's partially possible. In fact, if it's not for anything itself, even if he can give you a description of what the kind of thing to join together, it's still a thing. So OpenAI just released an update, I think 3 weeks ago, of the combination of all these things. AI that can see, that can hear, that can think, that can do all these three things together. But the caveat is not yet currently available for everybody. So they're still pushing it out gradually. So I think just keep watching this space. It's possible, with their current, so which means for all of us who are already used to ChatGPT, it means that you can upload an image into it and tell it to do something about it, and it's able to at least translate the image. So take, for instance, I can snap this speaker now and ask it, what is this speaker? What is this? It's going to tell me everything about it, and even the maker. Probably even the year that they created it. Or maybe your kids, came back from school, and they came with one mathematics equation that you can't solve. You snap it, and it's going to help you solve it. So it's getting really interesting. Or you find yourself in a location, and the person can speak French, and the only thing you can speak in is English. It can stand in between as a translator. So the AIs are getting better, but I think depending when they fully release that, I know whatever they are releasing, I think Africa is always the last, only the last beneficiary, unfortunately. But in the meantime, I would do a research. I will see if there's any standalone AI, because all these things are model, but we haven't really seen all the models come together. Take, for instance, there are models that what they do is to generate live videos. That's what they do. Just give it a prompt. It's going to can create a video of a church and congregation. There are some that what they do is create cartoon. But what we are going to be seeing in the next couple of months is all these AIs coming together to work together. So which means you can be on Meta AI and you're able to ask that question, and it's going to be able to do everything. But in the meantime, they are still sort of like different. So even if I'm likely to see that kind of scenario, it might be another platform, that you can try. But I'll also check. If I see, I'll let you know. Yes, ma'am.
It's still related to what she has asked, and I was trying to put together like a write-up.
Okay.
So I tried to use Grammarly.
Okay.
So I tried to copy I copied from what I've written already, so that I can help me reframe the whole thing. So when I copied it and pasted it on it, it gave me a response that the thing is sensitive, that I cannot do that. Yes. So I was now thinking that, can I try ChatGPT on that, whether I will still get the same response? In fact, that was why I couldn't continue.
Yes, and that's where I think this is another thing. So we need to know as many AI as possible. If it doesn't work here, you move to another one. Somebody like me now, I jump between bad. So sorry, it's not bad again. It's called Gemini. Gemini is the one for Google. Google too have their AI. So it's called Gemini. So Gemini too does fantastic job. So in fact, when I'm doing some things, I will ask like 3 to 4 AIs the same question. I'll now read all of their responses and go for the best. So you could try ChatGPT. Then you could also try Gemini. Gemini is that of Google. Yes, Geini. Gemini. Yes. Then Elon Musk too have his own Twitter. Call it Grok. G-O-R-K. But his own is only for Twitter people. Not really. The AI is built around everything happening in Twitter. Then I also use co-pilots on Bing. What's this Microsoft browser? Edge. Is it Edge? Microsoft Edge, yes. I think it comes with all Windows. So there's an app there called Copilot. In fact, one thing we can do, we can just Google, maybe when we get home, just Google all available, how to use combination of all the AI to get results. There will be some videos. Just click on the video option. Just watch some people's video on how they will show you how to ask all of these questions across the AIs. And it's always very fantastic. There are some questions that I know that is Google AI that would do it better. Anytime I'm doing anything about search engine optimization, like, because I know that Google are very good at that, I'll use their Gemini. But if I'm trying to do something that is very intellectual, I'm going to use ChatGPT. You know, then which other one? I've never used Grok, that of Twitter. So, but I mean, you could use that. This one fail doesn't mean that that won't work. And even if it does fail, it might mean that you need to rephrase some things. You know, if one that is not supposed to be there, even help me to make it, yes, fantastic. Sometimes when I read it, I'm like, there's no way I would have adjusted this thing like this. There's no way. And you know, how fantastic, how effective AI is how we want it to be. You know, if you write, let me give you an instance. If you go to an AI right now to say, write an article about Nigerian inflation rates, it's going to write something for you. And if you read it, it's going to be very good. But do you know that if you do your own research and you write your own by yourself and you not take it to the AI, hey, hello AI, this is what I have written. Can you improve on it? The kind of perfection you will get is extremely different from somebody who just go to the AI with nothing. So sometimes when you do your own risk, because it's a machine, information that you give into it is the input that you then use to, when you read your own, you already understand the context. You know, you just add more things. In fact, it will tell you, it would be nice you look for another reference to add to this section to make sure that it holds more ground. You know, so, but some of us are very lazy because we see the AI. I mean, let me also still say this. The AI thing that we see today is whatever it's producing is like it's vomiting an already existing information. That's it. It's not like it's really, really creating something new. Because for the AI to be the AI, they fed it with lots of information, lots of billions of tests. So whatever is giving you is with somebody's work. Let me put it like that. It's existing. Whatever is giving you is existing, but if you give it your own context, you have your own stuff. It's your own. You know, what it will then do is to make sure that one is perfect structure-wise, like errors that probably it will take you days to figure it out. Even at the end of the day, you still have error there. It's going to do all of those things in just seconds. And that's how we should be using the AI, not just relying on it to just, business idea, write it, bam, no. But do your own research and let it cross-check for you. And it's going to do a perfect review. Yes.
Thank you for the teaching. I want to ask, it's a bit different from what we actually learned today. The decentralized network, that's the trading and all of the stock of, I want to ask is, can we classify it as AI? Yes, crypto trading and all commerce and all. That's we seen it from our end on the phone. Can we call it AI?
Okay. I always like to run away from crypto conversation because it's more than me. But you know, I always still get it every time. So, AI, AI is not just, okay, let me put it this way. There's AI in almost every technology that you use. Remember, I say AI is to automate a process. Take, for instance, now, how does your crypto platform detect fraud? It's not one person that is going to search for the user. It is the AI behind the hood that knows this guy. Okay, so let me give you an analogy or a scenario that one bank, one of the bank chief operators said. He said that one of the ways the bank could detect fraud or threats is, take for instance, they have a user who is always logging into the account in Ikoyi here. Ever since the person opened that account, if it's not in Ikoyi, those are the two locations that the person is always logging into the app. Now, the day that that same user go to Abule Egba, I mean, the day that that same account is being logged in at Abule Egba, it will raise alert. Because the user have never been there before. And that's why, for some sensitive bank, they will call the customer. Sorry, we noticed so thing in so place. We just want to confirm it was you. That's artificial intelligence. Can you just imagine? That's artificial intelligence already. So the term artificial intelligence is not a product on its own. It's not a device. It's not an app. It's a future. You know, it's a future that is embedded in a system. So in that crypto environment, the way you guys, all those curve, all those things move, you know, and when it crash, everybody crash. Under the hood, I don't know, I don't want to overtalk, but those are artificial intelligence. It knows the uptime, it knows the downtime, it knows when to make all of you cash down, you know, you lose money. He knows. And that's why it's not predictable, because it's not human that is controlling it. It's not, you can't say, oh, today the stock will rise. You can't say today it will drop. You can't say today it will go flat. Because it's an artificial intelligence. So it's not an app on its own. It's a future that allows all those things to happen. Does that make sense? So just summary. Artificial intelligence it's not on its own. You know, it's just like the way if I behave in a certain way and you feel like I'm intelligent, it's not something you can hold. It's a feature inside me that is translating all those things. You learn about AI. So you could take some crash course on, for instance, Udemy, even on our own platform as well. You could just look for, so there are platforms where you can just learn, take AI crash course. So it's going to further buttress all these things I've said. You know, so, and it's also going to help you to know how, because everything I've done here are not practical in nature. You know, they're just theoretical. So what all of those tutorials will do is it will actually go to those platforms, real, and practice those things. You get? So there are tutorials that can really help you to get started with AI. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. God bless you for your teaching. This is my question. I want to ask, can someone who specializes in using AI, can the person gain employment in companies?
So specialize in using just AI. Specialize in using AI in doing what?
Machine learning. You mentioned five categories of expertise in AI. So someone who is specialized in all the five categories can
all the five?
machine learning and all that.
Okay.
Can the person get employed?
The person is already employed. You know, to have all the five categories of skills, like the person is hot cake. Not having the skill by mouth or by a certificate too. Like you could actually write models. I don't even think such people don't even really want to always work for anybody. Because you want to build your own model. Because it's more financially, it makes more sense when you build your own model. But I mean, take for instance in Nigeria today, if you have that kind of skill set in Nigeria today, you're a big boy. There's still a lot of skills deficiency. In fact, this technology is new. We've not even finished coding, design. We've not finished this small basic thing. This technology is relatively new to us. And I'm telling you from a trainer's perspective. Businesses, banks, yeah. Okay, so I would say somehow, so the question is saying, can we say the future technology? It's no longer future, it's now, it's happening. You know, the wind is blowing. Let me use that, the Geo's word. The wind is blowing. It's not a thing of tomorrow. It's happening. You know, it's happening. So we just need to find a way to join the ship. Anyhow, like if you need to crawl. If you need to, and I think what I always tell people is, whatever you're doing right now is going to serve as an input towards the next future technology. We don't even know what that is right now. But you see this AI thing, this artificial intelligence of a thing, is going to be an input into the next one. For those who knew how to design, small design, when the World Wide Web, they were easy to blend in and start building websites, do WordPress, do small thing. Even when high-end technology came, learn PHP, learn JavaScript, they got better. You know, some of them even picked cybersecurity. It was an input. You know, it was easy for me to transition into artificial intelligence because I had all those things that were required, that if you need to start right now, I don't know, to take a lot of time. So it's an input, you know. So my career was very interesting. From a designer, went into video editing, went into animation, went into product design, went into front-end web development, went into back-end at some point, went into DevOps. You know, I just went into so many things. So now, my level of exposure is very high in that very space. And that's why I'm saying that all these things are inputs. In fact, this conversation we are having right now is an input. By the time I start running small business, the way from this conversation today, no matter how, if you listen to me very well, you realize that your approach to some things will change. The way you look at some things will change. So everything we do is input. You know, and that's why some people do advise me to run away from this country to go and make money. But I want to solve the problem. You know, I don't want to leave the country and I'll be fine and I'll grow old and I won't feel fulfilled. You know, so some of us are called to stay.
Thank you so much. I want to ask the difference between AI and virtual reality. You know, before we've seen different films in the past, like RoboCop, Virtual City, Running Man. So what's the difference between AI and virtual reality?
So, VR is a subset of AI. You know, so when you talk about virtual reality, it just means that can you be in your house and feel like you're here? Do you get? So imagine there's some level of artificial intelligence that would have gone into to mimic. Maybe you wear headset, you wear the headset, and you're seated here and you're feeling like I am talking to you directly. So the difference is just that. I mean, the difference is AI is AI. Visual reality, or virtual reality rather, is a feature in AI. Yeah. Okay. So can I ask you guys my own question? Right now, let me shoot. So, what are the 4 must-have business word? I don't want Koran's answer. Yes, ma'am. No, you give me one. Just one. Just one.
Product.
Cost. Marketing. Okay, so who can give me the remaining 2? Technology and revenue. Okay, so which one should come first? Why? Oh, yeah, tell us now. Tell us. It's your time to teach me back.
Okay, product is very important in business because without products, you cannot have a customer. You cannot have idea of cost of the products, talk less of marketing it. And without products, I feel like it cannot be a business. Product is what you can offer. What is important to, like, what you can just look around like, what can I? Okay, let me use a chair as a product. Someone has to use it. Yes.
So the chair is a product actually. So product is a finished good. You know, now I know that's what some of us are thinking about is how can you, what's in the beginning of the process to the end, what can you use technology to automate? That's all we've been talking about here since. Do you guys get it now? Okay, so another question. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so services, yes. So there are products that they are services, you know. Some products, somebody, like my own product now is service. I don't have anything tangible. In fact, that's what makes the business sometimes difficult to market. You know, people who sell devices, I'm selling this thing, see it now, check it, you check it. In fact, when you're going to buy a shoe, you check it, you check it, you check it. You say, okay, this shoe nice. You even test it and see whether it will be tight or free. And you check it is good. You say, okay, I'll buy it. But for product and services like ours, which are services, you will talk, you will tire. Like you will market that, you know, when you speak English, best you see like, you know, it's still hard. So marketing a product, a service product is a bit tedious than marketing an actual physical product. No, but regardless of it, the value at the end of it is the product. You know, so the value could be that the person know how to code or the person know how to design. The value on this seat right now is that you guys are sitting. And the person who sold it had, I'm sure by now, have finished spending the money. Everybody got value anyways. Even though the customer is still enjoying the seat, the business owner would have invested the money into something else. Yeah. So next question. So who should I ask? Some people's heart is beating 2-2 now. Yeah, let's remove 1-1. Okay, so my next question is, what do you do after an AI have given you some help? What's the next thing? You've spoken now. It's not only you. Ma, do you want to help us? No, not you. We never talk. You never talk. I saw you. It's you. Oh, yeah, so what do you do? When an AI is done giving you responses, what do you do? Okay, let me make life easy. Would you just take those things like that and go and use it? Or you do something else? What do you do?
You add it to what you have now. Okay, you said that we have like issue, our own inputs, our own what we have written down already. So and you make use of it for your business.
Okay, who can help again? He has said 50% of the conversation. I'm leaving another people, not you. I don't want anybody that have spoken before. I want the people that have been looking at me and they've been behind me since, be Oga, you will not keep quiet. How far now, bro? Okay, let me do a lady. Hello, Sissy Red. You ready to talk? Are you just coming? Okay, I noticed you're just coming. Okay.
I said to edit.
Edit, what kind of edit?
You already had, no, you had what you wanted to use. Then the AI filtered out some things. So you merge.
Okay. So I feel like maybe my question is not properly established. What I'm saying is, you're trying to get a business idea, and you're done asking the AI. It has pointed you to some directions. You've put your own input. What are you going to do next? Okay. Oh yeah. So let's see.
Praise God.
Please, I'm asking these questions so that I just want to make sure you guys can still relate with the process, so that it sinks. Right?
So after knowing your product, the AI had helped you in getting all the ideas together. I think the last stage is marketing the idea to the public. Do you know if?
Are you nodding your head to say yes? You're nodding your head to agree with her. Yeah, there's no need for you to talk now. Oh yeah, let's hear.
Okay. Sorry. For example, as he was talking, in my office, they asked me to activate showmans, like bring customers to activate showmans. As you were talking the other time, I was finding it difficult to talk to people because I'm not really associated with people like that. So I now try to check my AI on my Snapchat. How can I activate showmans? Like, how can I bring in customer? It now show me that the thing I can do is just to look for a series that is trendy, that they will like. I should just look for the trendy movies and post it to my Instagram, WhatsApp, and so on. So during that process, people will actually want to patronize or to activate. So I've seen the answer already. It's not like for me to look for a content. That's when I have to research to get a new content that people can actually enjoy. Go to your question. After we ask a question. AI give us the answer. The best I feel like we can do is that we should, after we read the whole thing, we should just, with what we have, we should make a research and take from the AI our own and the research, combine it together, and we get what you are looking for.
I thought she would not mention research with all the things she said. What I said clearly is that when you're trying to do any business assumption, that whatever the machine is giving you is generic. You need to go and ask real people. In fact, after you see those series, you go and ask some people like, what's your best series in the movie? What's your Kenny? What do you like? Is it Jennifer? Is it Lopez? Is it whatever? You ask. Real people. So research is very important too. That's what I've been waiting to hear since. That after you finish asking the machine and the machine gives you recommendation, please ask people. Because at the end of the day, it's not the machine that will pay you money. It's real people. So if you don't ask real people, you may have a problem. Yeah. So, maybe one more question so that we can wrap it up. Who is going to go for this one? Yeah, it's you. It's you. Okay, so I'll try. Don't worry. Just sit down. I'll try to make the question very, very simple. So, you've been here since morning, yeah? So how would you describe AI in your own definition based on all the things we've said? Like, what do you think AI is? Is it one? What did I even say? Is it a robot? No. There's something I said it was. This word, but I'll remember. But just put it in your word.
You said AI is all about automation.
I said, my own said, okay.
AI is all about automation. As in,
And what is automation?
automation is something that has been programmed, that be fixed.
Okay.
For future.
I like the fact that you're using big English for me. Okay, thank you. Let's clap for him. So, do we have anyone who can still, because he explained it, but his English is still big for me. Mhm.
He said AI is built in a way to mimic human brain. Just
It's actually a contrary opinion, but just an addition and what I picked from it. Actually, I used to read about AI a lot, but based on what you said today, I saw a different thing there. You said that AI, like some of us see it when you hear AI is big thing and all of that. But here I now understood that it's actually what you are used to doing, what you normally do on a daily basis, how to now replicate it or multiply it. That's when AI comes in. Meaning, if you think you're doing business, like you said, you've not sold anything before, and you think AI will come and do the job for you, you're just a joker. It means you must be doing something, a process that is already on ground, that AI can help you, to replicate it or multiply it.
Let's clap for her, please. So, and if we now take it to something like our Showmax, the day you make mistake and you sign up, you create an account on Showmax, that is the day that Showmax is going to start doing what she described to us here. Showmax is going to try to know what you like. That's why when you're signing up with Showmax, they'll tell you, give us a category of what you like. You like football, you like kitchen, you like this. You pick all those categories, you select it. So because they had built a process in place over time, they can now programmatically, automatically do those recommendations remotely without any agent being there. Please tell me.
Like, I use Pinterest a lot. Even in my email, they'll send all kinds of pictures. And they'll call my name, you would like to see this. And when you click it, you actually something you like. Every second you're seeing Pinterest sending all kinds of things based on what you're watching. And I think I can relate.
Yeah. So, and that's how it works. So, in other words, the take here is, as business people, just build that manual, just make it work. You want to start a fish pond, and all you're thinking is, an app where people will be ordering for fish. Mistake. Do that fish first. Let some die. Wake them up. Do it manually. Learn from that process. That is when you could even have an idea to say, how long does it take to take a fish out of the pond before it dies? Technology is so sweet when you understand the problem. It's so sweet because everything, we're just saying, translate this. How can I? In fact, anytime you find yourself doing anything and you feel like, why will I be doing this thing again and again? It's time to start thinking of automation. That's where artificial intelligence comes in, because you're creating a machine that can act on your behalf, even though you haven't given the instruction directly. And the same thing too with this ChatGPT Meta AI that we use. Like I explained before, you search for how can I make bread. Instead of Google that you know before, we give you 50 links. You now be scrolling which blog, which video. As the AI have done that before you already. It has scanned through all those links, selected the best, read all the articles, and then summarize the response that it will take you almost hours to do. You see that if there wasn't Google search, there wouldn't have been any generative AI that we have right now. It's a process. So anything you want to do, technology should come last. Think of the process that will help you to do that. And try it out. Go and meet customer. At least sell one first. Sell two. Sell three. You can now walk up to developers or anybody like, oh, look, this is the technology I need for this, and you should be fine. And that's how we wrap for this session. Let's clap for ourselves. So let me get the pastors so that I think the guys making perfume, they are still making it. So you guys can go and check. You can never tell whether you find your business idea. You tell one of them who already doing it, come, I can help you with my AI skills. It's possible to automate your perfume process. So please, let's just take a walk and just look at what they are doing and tell them to spray you that you guys are coming to test their, at least you smell nice to your house.